Running a business is certainly not for everybody. I know a lot of people on the internet like to discuss the fact that anybody can run a business, but in reality it's a lot of hard work. And if you ask me, the hardest stage of running a business is finding out which business to run. And this might sound like something which can easily be done based on your personality type, how much you want to work and how much you want to earn, but it's actually a lot harder than that. In the last couple of years, I've experimented with several different business ideas, and to be honest with you, most of them have failed, and I still go on to continue to trial out many different business ideas, and many of them continue to fail. It's not necessarily that the businesses are bad themselves, or the concepts are bad, or the business model is bad. The problem is, business is a lot of hard work, and whilst you can put in 110% every single day, there will still be an element of luck. As much as we can talk about the fact that hard work always pays off, there is an element of luck with every element of business. The best thing that you can do though is experiment in every single field. You might try one business, whether it be dropshipping, Amazon FBA, something which is very commonly spoken about, and it might work terribly for you. Other people might hit that first time. Or you might try another business, and then that fails. After two failures, the question is, and this is a real show of determination, are you going to sit there after not succeeding twice and want to continue to go on for a third time, a fifth time, a sixth time, maybe even a 10th or a 15th time? This is where so many people make a huge mistake, because there's nothing wrong with failure in business. And if you ask me, there's no such thing as failure in business. There's only learning experiences and learning opportunities. I have to say, in all of the business models where I've failed to have success, I still learned something, so I can't say it was a waste of time. It's taught me about what I now know, and it's taught me about what works for me, my style, and also where I have areas of strength. And as those of you who've been watching the channel for quite a while now will know, I've been doing quite well recently doing e-commerce online, so that's selling on Amazon, eBay, and other sites like that. Of course, I started this channel just a few months ago to document my process on this, but I have to say, when you're looking from the outside in, it looks like I've struck it very lucky selling on eBay in the first couple of weeks and months, but that's not the case. As a matter of fact, this is my third or fourth time selling on eBay to begin with. It's my first time that I've made a real success of it, and on top of that, it's also one of many different e-commerce businesses I've tried. I've tried Shopify stores countless times, I've tried Amazon in the past and not understood it, and all it boiled down to is trying and trying and trying again, because like I say, whilst luck is a factor, the amount of work you put in will ultimately affect your outcome. You may have even found the right business model already, but you may be at the wrong time, or you may have found the right business model but have been in the wrong niche. Like I say, I am selling on eBay and Amazon and sites like that. Where I've now found success is selling things like watches and jewellery. In the past though, I tried selling things like smartphones and that kind of equipment, and it didn't really do well. It's nothing to do with the fact that smartphones and stuff like that isn't a good category to sell in. What it really boils down to is what works for me and where I was at the right time and the right place. I have to say I did get a little bit lucky with the fact that the watch business did work. Isn't fully luck, as whilst you can say luck is one element, I have been listing up at least 10 items a day for the last 6 months. And if I didn't put that work in, my shop would not grow. If I had one product on there, I'd be making no sales or very low sales to begin with. So I can't say it is all down to luck. But what I am trying to say though is, it's about experimentation. You've got to try every different industry and you've got to be prepared for each one to fail. Now what I must say to any aspiring business person is that you look at the wider picture. Let's say that like me, you're 20 right now, maybe you're 17, maybe you're 25, you're probably going to live between at least 70, 80, maybe even 90 years in your entire life. You've got the majority of your life left, and if that is the case, you've got more to gain than you have to lose. So if you try 5 businesses, 10 businesses, and 9 out of 10 businesses fail, but one makes you a millionaire, you now have the rest of your life for freedom. And you have to ask yourself, which one is better? Is it worth trying for 10 years, failing in almost every business model, then eventually making it to be rich in the end? Or is it worth you going into an office, into a 9 to 5, and doing a whole life of what is effectively slavery? Doing work that you barely get paid enough to live on and have to go into the office day after day. Is that really what you want, and do you believe that's the best thing for you long term? I think that's why a lot of people fail with the business experimentation, because it does require a long-termist view. You are probably not going to make it huge in the next 2 to 3 years, and I'm very well aware that most people out there have seen people advertising courses saying that they became a millionaire in 5 months to a year, and whilst that can happen from time to time, it's unlikely that that person's going to be you, and that's not even a bad thing. but it means that you've got to be prepared for that. So once you've prepared yourself for it, I would say get ready for a tough journey, and that's not actually problematic. You'll learn a lot, you'll get a bit heartbroken when some of your business models fail, you'll fail a lot of times, but you will end up better for it. Like, believe me guys, even when I do the eBay shop and make about 10 grand a month in revenue, I still am trying multiple new business ideas every single week. My personal philosophy is that if I don't try at least 10 business models per year, I'm failing myself, because I know for a fact that my chance of having a successful business in the next 6 months, 12 months is quite unlikely. So I need to do everything in my power to make it likely, and that will include trying out as many different businesses as I possibly can, and that's what I think everybody can benefit from. So if you're watching this video as somebody who's got one business that isn't doing very well, even if you've got one business that is doing quite well, how much are you making? Are you happy with how much you're making? And if you're happy with how much you're making, are you happy with how much you're working? If the answer to either of those questions is no, it might be time to experiment. As a whole, this is a concept that people can grasp. Most people have gone to school to learn to read and write. You didn't come out of school being able to write on your first day of going in. It took weeks, months, and arguably years. You didn't jump into a car on your first driving lesson and know how to drive immediately. That took weeks, maybe months. So why do you expect that you're going to graduate to making a business that's going to be very successful in a matter of days and weeks? Bear in mind, this is a subject which most people don't crack in their entire lifespan. So if it takes you 5-10 years, you are doing really well. Just remember that, and be aware of the work it's going to take to get there. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.